And he actually went on to say that they recovered some of these bodies, and one of these bodies was actually in fairly good shape. And it chose to communicate with a Army field nurse named Matilda O'Donnell McElroy. That was her name. And this was recorded in a book later written by a man named Lawrence R. Spencer. The name of that book is called Alien Interview. You can go and get that book on Amazon. It's not hard to get. You can go on YouTube and hear it too. Now, what Matilda said, she was befriended by this alien, and his name was Ariel, A-I-R-L, right? And what Ariel told her is that he had to speak telepathically with her. For all you smart mouths out there saying, oh, he must have spoke English. Yeah, obviously, it was non-verbal communication via telepathy. Telepathy is how we spoke, right?
Right, spoke into her head.
Spoke into her head, right? And Ariel told her, they became friends. Ariel told her that we're on a prison planet and that we're not allowed to leave, right? And that human souls are trapped, and through a system of permanent reincarnation and memory erasure, our souls, which is what makes us, what makes you who you are, is your soul, right? You can lose an arm, a leg, an eye, and still be yourself, right? But our soul is what makes us. But our souls are sent back to reincarnate with the memory taken away, right? Over and over and over again. And he referred to us as something called an IBES, IBES, or whatever, right? And so I threw that up there just on a whim on my Instagram channel, and it went crazy, right? A lot had a comment on it. A lot of people came back and they were like saying, "Oh, this makes perfect sense." And I'm like, "Really? It makes perfect sense." Blah blah blah. This that and the other.
It makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense that we're on a prison planet, and that we're never allowed
parts of it
to
make
leave.
Sense to me,
right?
Like, are we on a prison? Like the prison planet thing intrigues me a bit because of my whole. I mean, all the stories, right? Like this is what I always come back to. The beginning. I like the beginnings and the ends of things, right? Because I want to see how things started and how it ended up at the end. Because sometimes they're very different, right? But all of our stories are our earliest stories from all over the place, like geographically disparate cultures. Talk about people coming down and making us for a purpose.
Right.
I was just doing some research on the Book of Enoch, right? Of them telling, one of the versions is like, it tells like we're the seventh iteration of this, right? Like,
we're the seventh iteration of man, of human, right. By the way.
And which lines up with the sixth turning of, this is the seventh turning of the Mayan calendar.
And it 100% lines up with a lot of Mesoamerican and Native American First Nation lore.
Timelines.
Yeah, exactly right. About how this is the seventh turning iteration of us, right?
Right.
So if you haven't read that book, I haven't read it yet. I'm going to go read it. I just ordered it, but I'm behind on my reading. So you guys go out there and read it. Let me know in the comments what you think about it.
What if the gods are just reincarnated souls?
Well,
who remember?
It gets even weirder than that, man.
Right?
It gets even weirder than that.
Zeus and Odin and all of those people are just people who have remembered.
So, based on that theory, and again, based on Matilda's research and Roswell's research, this is the thing I tell people a lot of times, and I'm having to say it more and more and more. I don't like using the term sheep, but it's starting to fit. Just because you don't believe it doesn't mean they don't. That's what I'm trying to tell people a lot of the time. You've never been in the military, or you've never been around any high level stuff. Just because you don't think it's true, they absolutely know it's true, right? Or think it's true, right? So of course, the U.S. military took what had to be said seriously, right? And this gentleman came of course, they launched tons and tons of secret programs because they think we can't handle it, which bothers me as well. But I'm going to bring another guy here. This guy's name is Robert Monroe. Robert Monroe lived from 1915 to 1995. And he was actually a very influential figure in the field of consciousness exploration, out-of-body experiences, OBE. And he's also known for his pioneering work on altered states of consciousness, where he demonstrated in some of his books that you can actually talk a person through an out-of-body experience. This guy proved that. Now, he's wrote several books. I'm going to give him some credit real quick here, if you want to go read them. His first book was published in 1971. It's called Journeys Out of the Body. His second book was published in 1985 called Far Journeys. His third and final book was published in 1994 called Ultimate Journey. I didn't look these books up yet, but absolutely you can go. This is not what he's actually famous for. You can go look those books up online, whatever you want. I'll probably get them on like Amazon or wherever.
Amazon has everything.
So what? But Monroe was so deep into this, and he was 100% a spook. 100% was a spook. He was a CIA remote viewer asset, right? But again, that's not what he's famous for. He's famous for creating a technology he actually patented called HemiSync, right? And this is actually very scary, right? And what it does is he developed a way via frequencies to sync up the left and right hemispheres of your brain at the exact same time. He created a patent for it. And of course, they'll tell you that this patent was never brought to fruition. However, that is 100% a lie. The CIA snatched it, and they actually perfected it, HemiSync, in 1983. The CIA has had the ability to sync up a left brain and a right brain hemisphere at the exact same time. Now, what this supposedly does is it unlocks. Okay. The theory is that our brains are very capable, powerful machines. However, they're unable to achieve the full capacity for whatever reasons. The going theory on that is that it uses that keeps the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of your brain in a constant state of basically tug of war, where one can't pull as far with the other going back and forth, right? And what HemiSync does is supposedly removes that deadlock between the brain, the left side and the right side of the brain, and allows a human being to have full access to his brain. And that is supposed to...
It says...
Go ahead.
Yeah. It's supposed to facilitate deep relaxation,
right.
Expand awareness, achieve a laser-like focus and concentration, and replace negative thoughts with beliefs of love, confidence, and empowerment.
Right. And that's what they want you to believe. It probably turns you into Jason Bourne, and you could get out of a maximum security hospital and kill everybody you wanted to on the way out the door. Probably what it does, right?
Well, I guess that just depends on like the potential there, right? So if you have someone who is gets in their own way all the time because of the intrusive thoughts or something like that, it's binaural beats is what it is. It's been around for a long time. I've actually tried it. It's kind of neat. It's tingly.
You don't want my brain syncing up, son. You don't want it, man. I told you the ginger will be done if that's the case, right? We've had this conversation before.
We have one. If either of us got wealthy, then things would be bad.
Yeah.
For everyone else.
Things are about to get bad then because I'm about to blow up, dude. So I'm thinking that right now. So, but anyway, so he actually came out before his deathbed and said that he remote viewed the soul catcher on the moon.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.